Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. And today we're going to be talking about presidential candidate David Ruttledge. Nice to meet you, David. And we were talking a little bit before, we had a very nice little conversation before. And I'll just get started into the questions if that's okay, yeah? Brilliant. So tell me a bit about yourself.
So, hi, thank you for having me on this evening. I'm good to be back with MarsFm. I know I was a co-host here last year, but I'll just introduce myself now. So my name is David Ruttledge. I'm 22 and I'm from Sligo, and you probably know by now that I have a mullet. I'm a postgraduate student here at Maynooth University. I'm studying a master's in psychology, and I'm the class rep for that course. I'm doing my thesis at the moment between the link between physical activity and mental health during the pandemic. And then outside of college, back home, I normally would be living with my mum and my sister, who actually studied politics over in NUIG, which is where I got my inspiration to get involved in politics. And then on top of that, I'm like a big football fanatic. I love Man United, love Bradford City. I like watching darts, and I like watching Formula 1 as well.
Brilliant. What do you think the role of student union president entails?
So I think there's two main things that a president of the union really needs to do. You need to lead, first of all, your team of senior management and your VPs and other elected students. And then I believe on top of that, you really need to be a voice for the students. And that's way you can do that is to really like fully engage with what they want, not necessarily what you want. It's not all about me. It's really about the students. And I think that's probably the two main points that are important to be a student union president.
And what specifically can you bring to the role of president?
So I think there's two main points that I can bring to the role that kind of separate me from other candidates. First of all, I'm coming from a background that isn't heavily involved in the SU. And I know, addressing the elephant in the room, people might think, okay, you haven't got a lot of experience, why are you going for this? But I really think student engagement is so important. I think there's so many students, including myself and a lot of my friends, who throughout their time in college never really got involved in the SU. And I think I could really inspire a whole lot of students to get involved once they see, well, if our president can do it, why can't I? And that you don't necessarily need to be involved with politics or anything like that. As soon as you get here, you can decide, later on in your degree, I'd actually like to get involved in this. And then another point that I think really separates me is, or that I would kind of do different, is I'd really be coming from a mental health perspective in terms of trying to make change in it. I think, of course, I'd like to make some other changes, but mental health really would be the priority for my presidency if I was to win, especially given the current circumstances as well. And then on top of that, the third point is I want to make mullets great again.
Brilliant. So tell us about your campaign. I've seen that you're obviously wearing your T-shirt, which I think I haven't seen that before. So tell us how your campaign's gone and how are you enjoying it?
Yeah, so obviously this is the first time that I've ever run for an election. So there's been a few ups and downs so far, which is to be expected when you're doing something for the first time. But I just would like to start off by saying I've got a great campaign manager in my friend Grace. She's really helped me out big time in terms of getting the T-shirts together. And I know before the campaign, I thought, T-shirts, surely that's something that might take an hour or so and they'll be ready and they'll be designed. It took us a couple of days. Which I wasn't expecting, but they came out really well, so I'm really delighted with that. And I'd like to give a shout out to Text Pro for delivering them so quickly for us. I guess then on top of that, asking advice from people who've done it before, I think that was really important, especially for something which I've never done. And then I guess for the manifesto, I really took a lot of time to think about what's important for every student. I do believe that every part of my manifesto does cover every single student, no matter like what circumstances or background they're coming from, or whatever year that they're in as well. And then I guess on top of that, the most important thing that I'm trying to do is have fun doing it, but obviously be serious about it as well.
Brilliant. So that's hopefully everyone who's watching got a good idea of what David's about. So what we're going to do now to try and ease the tension a little bit is do some quick fire questions. So first of all, tea or coffee? Sorry.
To be honest, I don't actually drink either of them that much. I'm more of a Red Bull man, but if I was to pick one, I'd have to go for a cup of tea. I think my mum would kill me if I didn't say tea.
Yeah, I'm the same. So grand. Cats or dogs?
Definitely cats. I've always grown up with cats. We never actually had dogs, and I know when I was younger, maybe when I was about 4 or 5, I had this cat. I called him Fang. I know it's not a great name, but that's what I thought at the time anyway. And I was sure the entire time I had him that it was a boy. And one day I came home from school, and that boy had 14 kittens.
Yeah. Interesting. Very cool.
And then
What's your
after
favorite word?
that,
Oh, sorry. Sorry, my bad.
oh yes, no, sorry. No, I was just gonna say after that we had another cat for the guts of like 10 or 11 years, called Putchy. So that's definitely why I definitely would be more of a cat person. And then for the question, favorite words, um, I don't really have a particular favorite word. I know in my bio, if people go onto it on Instagram, I actually have a quote, and it's probably like my reaction to most things. If I think something is good, I just always say "good shit, dude." So I guess that would be my favorite quote, if you want to call it that.
Okay, brilliant. Favorite TV show?
I guess favorite TV show. I kind of have two, and they're both different. If you get me, like one would be Money Heist. I feel like that's if I want to watch something that's really like exciting and kind of gets you going and it's all dramatic and everything like that, it definitely would be Money Heist. And I think it's cool that it's in Spanish as well. I know I tried watching it in English before, but it just doesn't really like match up as well. And then if I kind of want to put something on, it's a bit more relaxed and I can kind of go on my phone and not really focus on it too much. Then It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is a great show as well.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Apple or Android?
So to be honest, I've actually gone back and forth between both. I've had a few Androids and a few iPhones. In fact, I actually had an iPhone 5 3 times, and I actually had one of them up until about a month ago. And I think I have an iPhone 8 right now, but I'm not the best of all that. So I think it's an iPhone 8. But I guess out of handiness, I'd probably have to go for iPhones for sure.
Okay. Is Jaffa Cake a cake or a biscuit?
It's a tough question because like it has the size of a biscuit, but the kind of I don't know makings of a cake. But I'm going to say just purely off the size of it, it's a biscuit. But it's a tough question.
And what's your favorite film?
Sorry, I think it cut out there.
Oh, no problem. What's your favorite film?
Oh, favorite film. I know Inception. I always found that really interesting. But I guess Harry Potter or The Godfather as well. But just I kind of like films where there's more than one, and if they're all
Hmm.
equally as good as each other. So I'd say probably Harry Potter or The Godfather.
And is there any particular film within those series, like the Godfather and the Harry Potter, that you particularly liked, or is it just kind of spread out over all of them?
I guess for The Godfather, the first one, I just think there's a lot of like iconic scenes from that. So I definitely would say the first one for that. And then for Harry Potter, I know everyone probably has their own particular one, but I always liked the fifth one is the Goblet of Fire. I'm pretty sure it's called. I always really liked that one. I just thought it was kind of a bit of a change from the older movies.
What's your favorite memory at Maynooth, if you have any?
So in the 3.5 years I've been here, I've actually had so many great memories. But if I was to pick one out, I guess it's probably the first time I realized, how much I'm going to miss the place when I'm gone was actually the last night of first year when I came here a couple of years ago. And I know we finished our exams, we were finished up for the semester, and we all, went out to mischief, and we stayed up like the entire night, and I went to bed like 9, 10 o'clock the next day, and then I just remember, well, not 9 or 10 o'clock the next morning, and then I just remember like going home that evening, and you might think, okay, it's a bit sad you're going home, but that's like really the first time I probably realized, geez, I actually love this place. So I'd say that's probably my one of my best memories.
And the final question, what's one thing about you that surprises people?
Oh, one thing about me that surprises people. I guess a lot of people are a bit surprised to hear that I met Cristiano Ronaldo before when I was 10 when I came to Ireland.
All right.
I guess a lot of people are pretty surprised to hear that. Probably say that.
Was that when he played at Tallaght Stadium? Would that have been the time?
Yeah, he was actually, believe it or not, it was actually the first time that I came to Maynooth was in 2009. I'd never been here before. And I actually stayed out in Carton House, which so happened to be where Real Madrid were training at the time before they played Shamrock Rovers in a friendly. So it was the same summer they joined Madrid. So I got to meet him, Benzema, Casillas, Gucci. I don't know if everyone knows the other player. There was definitely a few more. I know Manuel Pellegrini as well was actually the manager at the time, but I had no idea who he was until he actually went to Man City, and I was like, oh, I've actually met him before.
Cool. That's a brilliant little story. All right. Hopefully everyone enjoyed that interview with David. And please make sure to check his Instagram. I'm sure it's just David Ruttledge on Instagram and any other major social media platforms. Thank you, everyone. And hopefully you'll sort of drop in for the rest of the interviews that are coming up over the next week. All right. Bye, everyone.